Welcome back to my channel, AFI's TBA, which stands for Affidavits Take Back America, for Lesson 2 of Alter, Reform, and Abolish. Now let's go back over Lesson 1. In Lesson 1, we covered and we saw written in several state constitutions that the people have political power and they have the ability to alter, reform, or abolish their government at will if the people's liberties and freedoms are infringed upon. So today what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be looking at two countries, and these are of 2025 situations. We're going to look at Nepal, and let's analyze to see, does alter, reform, and abolish fit what's happened to this government in 2025? And we're also going to look at Bulgaria and see again whether or not does alter, reform, or abolish fit this. There are others in 2024, but we're going to look at 2025. So we can see in this clip that Nepal's Gen Z was the group that toppled the government. This is the article that I used from September 2025, and you will see that the government toppled on September 12th of 2025. You will see in the next couple of clips that this toppling down of the government was caused by Gen Z protesters that became angry over the corruption in government that they saw, and that the government was trying to bar 26 social media platforms in their country, including Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. The protesters peacefully organized themselves through social media called Discord, TikTok, and Instagram, and used even QR codes flyers, coordinating before the social media blackouts to take place. The protesters were also resentful towards the political elites. The Nepali youth comprised 56% of their population, and the youth thought that geriatric leadership, average age of 70, was out of touch with the people. So by organizing on TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and encrypted Discord, the youth saw that they wanted a better future because they saw the widening of inequality and corruption. They even saw that the children of the elites now began flaunting their privileges. On September 4th, 2025, the internet was to go black, as they thought, but the youth was organized in advance. On the evening of September 10th, the young Nepalis cast their votes for their candidate to lead interim government, and the former Chief Justice became the winner. May I quote from the article? "It was perhaps the first time in history that the Prime Minister had been chosen via an online vote, a reflection of the times itself and also of the churn of the Nepali politic." Okay, so let's now look at Bulgaria. Now this article was reported on December 11th, 2025. With less than a year in power, the Bulgarian government resigned after weeks of protests about the grievances of economic policies and failure to tackle corruption as the people perceived it to be. The Prime Minister resigned after weeks of street protests against the state corruption, and seeing that the new budget that they was going to raise the people's taxes, which there were other grievances, but the taxes was the tipping point for the people. For example, there was a mayor on the coastal resort of Varna who was jailed for months because of the allegations of corruption, but of course he denied them. So now the president, once he resigned, he gave a mandate to form a new government, to one of their largest parties. Notice they have multiple, known as the GERB, G-E-R-B. However, as you go on and read the article, the government has other mandates before them to follow if the GERB fails. So let me ask you now, would you consider, after looking at these two governments just a few months ago, have they been abolished, altered, or reformed by the people of the country who hold all political power because they really realized they had that political power, and also that the Prime Minister was wise enough to see what the people were bringing to him which forced him in Bulgaria to resign. So let's see what the maxims in the law by Charles A. Wiseman has to say about government. We will just do this a silent reading.